does it mean to be righteous? So today's verse is coming from Proverbs chapter 18, verse 10, and it reads, "The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run to it and are safe." So when I read that verse, I was like, that's a good verse. But then I was like, the righteous run to it and are safe. So then I was like, what does it mean to be righteous? Like, what exactly does that mean? And I feel like if you call yourself righteous, people look at you like, oh, so you're one of those Christians. Because over the years of me, being a Christian, there is a lot of misconceptions that I've heard, that Christians think that they're perfect, that they're better, that they're holier than thou, that they're just so righteous. And while some may think they are, the real ones don't. We as Christians, as born-again believers, we are righteous, but it's not a self-righteousness. It's a goodness of God righteousness. There are some people that think that we think that way. So in this video, I hope to shed light and knowledge so that you know how to go about a conversation with somebody that may think that way about Christians. It is a gifted righteousness. It's not an earned righteousness. As Christians and as believers, we are not perfect, but because of Jesus, God sees us as forgiven and made right with Him. It's a grace thing, not a pride thing. God calls us righteous because of what Jesus did for us when He sacrificed Himself on the cross on our behalf. And that is backed up by Scripture. In 2 Corinthians 5, chapter 5, verse 21, it says, "For He made Him who knew no sin," Jesus never sinned, He made Him who knew no sin to be sin for us. He took up our sin so that we might become the righteousness of God in Him. Romans 3:22, that reads, "Even the righteousness of God through faith in Jesus Christ to all and on all who believe, for there is no difference." A different translation for you to better understand what this is saying is, we are made right with God by placing our faith in Jesus Christ. And this is true for everyone who believes, no matter who you are. Jew, Gentile, it doesn't matter. Anyone and everyone. Another way to explain this is kind of like a comparing. So if you think about somebody that is in court and he is in debt and a lot of money that he has to pay, and the judge says, okay, if you don't pay this, you're gonna go to jail. Like, you're just like, well, I don't have that much money, like I can't pay it. And he's just like, okay, well then you're gonna have to go to jail. And then someone opens the court doors, goes before the clerk or the judge or whatever, and says, here, paid in full, cash money. Well, your debt was paid. I mean, and legally you can go because it's been paid in full. That is exactly what Jesus did for you. God is the judge. Because God is the judge. God is loving, yes. He is forgiving, yes. But He is also righteous and holy and just. Think about a judge that is standing before a murderer. Okay, this person murdered somebody in cold blood. But the person says, okay, I made a mistake. I murdered that guy. But I was just having a bad day. I didn't mean it. And you know what? I donate to charity, and I feed the homeless, and I tithe to churches. I give my time in the food pantry. Like, I'm a good guy. I just made one tiny mistake. Like, just let me go. I won't do it again. I promise. If that judge says, you seem like a good dude, you made a mistake, but you do all these good deeds, I'm gonna let you go. Is that a just judge? Is that a fair judge? No. That is how God is. God is just, and He is fair. Just because you're a good person and do good deeds doesn't mean that you can go free and just erase your sin. We needed someone that was perfect and sinless, and that someone was Jesus. He paid our debt, took up sin on Himself for us. That is what He did. He came in the courtroom. He stood before God. He stood before the judge and said, paid in full. And so God sees us as righteous and made right with Him because of what Jesus did on the cross. He paid the debt that we couldn't pay. That's what Jesus did for us. We stood guilty before God and with a debt that we couldn't pay, the cost of sin. But Jesus stepped in, paid it for us with His own life. So when God looks at us, He doesn't see our guilt. He sees a debt that's been completely paid. We are declared righteous not because we earned it or because we're better than everyone else, but because Jesus gave us His righteousness. So with all of that said, though, that doesn't mean that we have a free pass to say, God knows how I am. It is what it is. I'll keep sinning. I mean, I'll try here and there, but I'm forgiven because I have that title now. No. You have to live right with God. You have to live right with others in a righteous way. You have to practice righteousness. That's backed up by Scripture in 1 John chapter 3, verse 7, where, little children, let no one deceive you. He who practices righteousness is righteous, just as He is righteous. So don't forget that. Hopefully this can better help you understand yourself as being made righteous through Jesus Christ, and help you better explain it to people that maybe have a misconception or a misunderstanding of what we mean by righteous. I hope you have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.